So we went to Tacaná Volcano to get footage of the Horned Guan.
One of the most challenging birds to see in Chiapas, mostly because it's challenging walking.
When you see it, it's special because you did a lot of effort to see it, and it's magnificent. It's just like huge. It's a massive bird that you have to work for it.
Hello and welcome to this video trip report to Tacaná Volcano. I'm Ben. This is my colleague
Valente
from Cardellina Birding, and we're excited to share with you our trip. Our team for this trip, really, on this scouting mission was myself, Ben, Valente, our good friend and expert bander here, Sergio Gomez, obsessive birder as well, and probably the heaviest packer that I've ever come across.
Yeah. And obviously our local guide. As probably nobody would ever see a Horned Guan in the Tacaná if it wasn't because of René. He's obsessed with the Horned Guan, and he's constantly keeping track of where the Horned Guan is feeding or moving, and that always increases your chances of finding it.
And René was always sharing with us facts about, the history of the hunting in the region. I think he even used to do some hunting, maybe of the Guan when he was younger.
Maybe of the Guan.
Part of hiring local guides is the fact that you are contributing to making sure that those people aren't hunting these things.
Yeah.
They're actually out there, like, making money from preserving them and conserving them.
It's a very special bird. It's a microendemic species, and it lives only in the cloud forest in the very top or the higher parts of the mountain range of the Sierra Madre de Chiapas, which is a coastal mountain range. Very steep slopes or even cliffs where it can shelter and feed safely. You have to drive to Unión Juárez and a bit further up to Chiquihuites. That's basically where our local guide lives. And that's as far as you can reach with the car, and from there on it's just on two legs.
I mean, there's so much in the region, right?
Yeah.
Between Chiquihuite and Unión Juárez, like regional endemic species, like the buffy-crowned wood partridge, blue-tailed hummingbird, pink-headed warbler is there, wine-throated hummingbird,
Black-throated jay, quetzals, white-faced quail dove, blue seed-eater.
Oh yeah. In the bamboo, like further down, in the Okay, we could go for a long time listing bird species, but yeah. Anyway, Chiquihuite and the area. So we made it to the home of our guide for Sunday, René. It's a little stovetop, and we just heard the sound of the fulvous owl, which could. It sounds exactly like that, actually. How would you describe it? Like
when you rub on a car when you're washing, or a bathtub, like.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's been so long since I was in a bathtub. But
You can smell that.
We got lights. Is that a Horned Guan? Is that a Horned Guan? So the next morning, we just had kind of a chill day, right? We had pretty much a relaxed day, acclimatizing a little bit to the altitude and seeing what was around in the town of Chiquihuites. We saw some mountain trogons, some very beautiful orchids, and Valente had this pretty good spot here.
Yeah, blue-throated Motmots are most likely to bump into you and not the way around.
But yeah, all in all, our first day was a pretty relaxed one, getting prepared for the hike, going up to try and find the Horned One the next day. We stopped for some lunch and found probably the cutest dog that any of us have ever seen. I think Valente was about to take this one.
Steal. I was going to steal that dog.
So yeah, next morning we set off very early. I didn't get too much footage. Actually, we have some footage, which we'll put in. After two to 3 hours of pretty tough hiking, we eventually arrived at the Horned Guan spot. We started finding evidence of the Horned Guan. Renee was picking up poo and giving it to us and telling us it was from the Horned Guan.
Gracias, Renee.
Even some seeds which have little claw markings on where the guan has been like manipulating them. We hung around for a fair while, trying to stay pretty much silent. They're very skittish birds, right? So they can disappear at the drop of a hat.
And that's the thing with the guan. It's like so much very high stakes because you've done like all this effort to get there. Usually when they feel threatened, they just jump off the cliff and dive into the valley, and then maybe you won't see them.
Yeah, after an hour, I think we had the impression that the ones had already moved through that area and were maybe feeding elsewhere, so we kind of continued our journey. I was happy to stay where we were, but I think Renee had the genius idea to kind of, go down the side of the valley.
Yeah, go down the ridge into like a very steep valley and then very steep up again, grabbing onto roots and plants and whatever.
We eventually come into a clearing where we have some very beautiful salvias, and we had our first chance to find these alders which are hosting the Black-capped Siskins.
Yeah. We constantly heard this kind of little engine floating around. And that was the broad-tailed hummingbird. A non-migratory population that it's not connected to the migratory population.
Right, so it's a disjunct population.
Yeah, which is quite interesting. Well, René suggested that we should try again the same spot that we tried in the morning to find the Horned Guan. So we thought like, well, we made it so far, why not trying again?
So we came back to that original point. By that point, I was pretty worn out. Took up our positions again, staying in alongside kind of a pine tree there. Honestly, I was so tired. I was trying to focus on like all of the sounds around me, and just kind of started drifting off.
Yeah.
I was like started looking up at the sky, and you know that feeling where you have like the clouds moving through the like leaf cover above you. It's very like it's very dreamy already, and then my eyes start closing.
After all that effort we did throughout the day, I eventually started to hear. And I look and I see Sergio all comfortable, like snoring and asleep. And then I look at Ben, he's also falling asleep. And I thought like, at least it's René and me. And I look around and even René was almost falling asleep.
Yeah.
And then I thought I heard a phone vibrating. Like someone, like as if someone leaves his phone on the table and you just hear that.
Yeah.
I thought like, that's weird. But I couldn't pin out or pinpoint where the sound came from.
Yeah. That's not something I've experienced before either. This
Yeah,
it's exactly like that, like a vibrating phone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then eventually I see a massive black bird perching in front of us, and you cannot do any sudden movements, so I like very slowly kind of touch people's shoulders, and we started to wake up. And then we eventually saw him sitting on a tree a few meters away from us. And with the cloud forest and everything, it was a magical moment. The skull structure is like so weird. It's
Yeah.
very goofy looking face.
Just a quick aside on this skull structure that Valente is talking about. That horn, it's a bony growth. It's part of the skull itself. There's perhaps just one Horned Guan skull in all of the world's museum collections, and even that one's broken. The Horned Guan is part of the Crassidae family. That's the Chachalacas, the Guans, and Curaçaos. But the last common ancestor of the Horned Guan and anything else in the Crassidae family was probably around 20 million years ago. So that kind of gives you a sense of why it is so unique and looks really like nothing else on this planet.
It was moving on the same tree. It didn't like fly away from us. Gave us all the time in the world to enjoy the bird, and eventually we thought like, well, mission accomplished. We can go home now. We still had to do like a long hike back down.
Yeah.